All right, guys. So this is Grover's deck profile, but he doesn't speak much English, so I'm gonna have to be doing it for him. So we're gonna put him back over here so he can hang out. But Grover was playing one with the plants and insects, his favorite dude. So we played Runick Naturia, but there was a couple fish involved too, because it's his favorite food. So I've already made one deck profile on this already on Sean's channel, but this was our YCS deck profile. So we went to YCS Philly. Sean made day 2. I went 5-4 after Swiss, and so I'll give the deck profile and I'll explain how I did and what my game plan was. So we were playing Runick, Naturia, Ghoti. So we can start with the Runick stuff. I mean, the Runick stuff is pretty standard. I was playing 16 spells. The 16th spell was 1 dispelling, but the rest of them were all pretty standard. 3 freezing, 3 flashing, 3 destruction, 3 tip, and the likes. So these were all very good. Playing in this format because the ban list came out during the YCS.
Yeah,
of course, of course it did.
Literally the most exciting part of the weekend, which is insane.
Yeah, but I think Runick didn't get hit at all. As you can see, I was already playing 2 Fountain anyway. In this build, you don't play anything more than 2, I'd say. So having the ban list hit at 2 doesn't change anything. The Runick engine is still really powerful right now, and going second into boards, any of these cards are really good. Sometimes you just need that smashing ground or that MST to really clean up a board state. So they were really helpful going second. I think the issues that I mostly had during the day were if my hand was all green, like all Runick spells, and no non-engine, that's when it gets a little rough, especially into a Rise Heart or the super heavy board. Seeing no non-engine is really a death sentence in the old format at this point. You really needed to see something other than your engine, and with this deck it's kind of hard because you can only play. I only played 7 non-engine slots, so it's hard to see at least 1 or 2 of those. So, but when I did, it would. Those were all the games that I won.
How did your matchups against Super Heavy and Cashier go?
I beat every super heavy player that I played because I opened Droll.
Okay.
So like I was saying, if you open the non-engine, that's really all you need to do in the previous format. I don't know what it's going to look like after that, but hopefully the Runick, the engine itself will probably be better in the upcoming format. So hopefully you won't have to rely on non-engine as much. So for the Naturia names, we played the 1 Sunflower, 3 Camella, 3 Cricket, 3 Sacred Tree, and 3 Blessing. So Sacred Tree did get limited to 1 on the new list. I don't think this is too much of a problem because I think what it's going to make me do is going to force me to play the Ishizu Shufflers. So my kind of idea is to take these 2 extra trees and turn them into the 2 Shufflers. That way, if you open a Shuffler, you can discard it to search Field Spell with Hugin instead of Sacred Tree. And then when you normal summon your Camilla or Mole Cricket, you can send the Sacred Tree to search your Blessing on turn 1 and use the Shuffler that you discarded to shuffle it back into the deck, along with a Camilla or a Cricket maybe after turn 2. And it recycles your tree. It also recycles your engine, so you can keep playing with it. Keep summoning Cricket back on their turn, distributing it for both Sunflower and Camella again. The Shufflers can really provide a lot of reoccurring in this engine. So I don't think the Sacred Tree hit is that bad, honestly. I think they could have done much worse to this deck, and I don't think they did. So that's kind of my take on it. So I think I'll still end up playing this, even with the 1 tree. I don't think it changes too much. Maybe even cut down on the Blessing ratio. Maybe cut it to 2, just because you won't be seeing it as much, and you can trade that for another non-engine slot possibly. So that's kind of my idea there. But these cards are silly. Going turn 2, if you summon Cricket, it instantly has to bait something out, or if they let it go through, you get 2 monster negates on their turn. So it's so ridiculous going second. Seeing this in your hand going second, even into Shifter or anything like that, you can still just get 2 monster negates up, and they can't really do much about it at all. Playing against Labyrinth, this wasn't during the YCS, but this was during another thing. I tributed Mole Cricket, summoned out Camella and Sunflower, and they're like, all right, that's fine. And then I just synced into Barkion, and that's just, in of itself, is just insane.
Oh my god.
So even against the back row decks, like if they don't know like what they're doing, it can be really devastating. So that was the Naturia stuff. Like I said, because of the new ban list, like these ratios might change around a little bit. But at the YCS, that's what I was playing. So then for some of the non-Naturia Runick stuff, we had the fish, obviously.
Of course, so sad though. Went from 4 to 2.
Yeah, we cut down on the fish a little bit for some higher consistency, and I'm glad I did because I'll show the combo that you can do through some hand traps with these guys, and it's pretty crazy what you can do with just these two. And yeah, I'll explain that in a sec. But the fish performed very, very well. It was actually outing some board states, like with floodgates and stuff like that. The fish are really good at just like getting rid of stuff. So these were both really good. Searching them, having them in your hand isn't bad. The only one that really sucks to have in your hand is Shiv. If Shiv's in your hand, you kind of have to discard it off of your Hugin search. If you don't, if you search if you send Tree instead, like if you open Tree and this, leaving this in your hand kind of sucks. But turn 2, you can normal summon it and make synchro plays and stuff like that with the Runick monsters, which is also pretty good. But you never want to have this in your hand. This is like the one brick of the deck, I guess you could say. So, but the fish, I never saw it in my opening hand during the weekend, and that was fine, and I was always searching it, and they did really well. I can't complain about the fish. I still think it's the best way to play this. For the non-engine, we had 3 Droll because of the format. I think people, like, before Super Heavy became popular, I still think this would have been a good card to have maybe in your side deck. But after the Super Heavy came out, it's like you kind of had to. And I won all my Super Heavy matchups today, or the YCS, because of it.
Nice.
The other non-engine we were playing was Kurikara.
The space.
Yeah, we got Pack and Nim Nim on these.
Or
yeah.
isn't that I thought that
That's
was
Pack and Nim
Dizzy.
Nim. No, Dizzy's the other one that I wasn't
Okay.
playing. Yeah, we cut this down to 2 instead of 3, and that was mostly just due to siding patterns. When I look at my side deck, you'll see why. But we were playing seven non-engine slots, and it just worked out better with the side deck. And I was like, I'd rather see Droll over Kurikara, but after the event, I would have rather seen Kurikara over Droll. I feel like having this card in your hand is always good. And then since it was a hand trap format, I decided to main deck 2 triple tactic Talons. These came in really clutch. I was playing against a Elemental Hero player, and I no hate on heroes, but he wasn't doing too good. But he was breaking through my board, and the last card I played was Talons, and it got me like a Druid, a Magnamut plus like a name. And I just like summoned like 3 level 10 synchro monsters on his turn, like on my turn after that, and it just like won me the game on the spot. So Tactics was really nice. Helped me play through Ash on Hugin, Ash on Camella. Just drawing more cards is always nice. I didn't really look at people's hands too much with this. I was mostly just drawing off of it, but still it was really nice. And having 2 of it was good for siding as well. The side patterns were really good. So speaking of the side deck, we can talk about that real quick. So in the side deck, I think I was really happy with my side deck, all except for 2 cards, and those 2 cards were these 2 Imperms.
Oh, no.
These rotted in my side deck. I did not summon these at all.
Summon?
Yeah. I didn't throw them in at all. They were my going first plan along with some other cards, and I just never decided to throw them in. There was always better stuff to do. So speaking of the going first package, when I was made to go first, or I got to choose to go first, I would always side in. It was either the Imperms or the 2 Bestials that I have. So I was playing 1 Magnamut, 1 Druisworm.
Only 2? Wait, only 2? I thought...
Yeah. So I was only playing 2 Bestials because I was also playing 2 DD Crow in the side.
Ooh, okay.
So I think DD Crow is actually gonna get even better after the ban list. If you Crow a Delicious Memory for Pearly, it ends their life.
Oh, no.
Like, if they try and rank into Plump and you hit the Delicious, they're 1 Delicious, it's wraps. Like,
it's Jover.
It's wraps. So, Crow actually was sided in a lot against Super Heavy as well. And my theory did come up. If they had the Link 1 on the field and they attempted to discard to summon back the Soul Peacemaker, and you crow the Soul Peacemaker at that exact moment, they end on, like, maybe Baron, depending on their hand.
What's it called? Super Heavy Scarecrow is a really bad Scarecrow. I mean, it dies to the crow.
To the crow. So... Yeah, there was one Super Heavy game that I won because, all he did was end on Baron after I DD crowed his Soul Peacemaker after the Link 1 usage. And, like, that's basically all they can do. Because it, like, cuts off their whole searching unless they open the level 2 to discard. But if they start with that to just add the Soul Peacemaker or add Wakaushi, it's kind of wraps after that. So then the other cards I was citing in first was the 3 Book of Moon. Now, this card is bonkers going first. You set this going first after you draw off your Runick spells, or you just have it in your opener, and you're playing to Kashtira, you book their first monster, it's wraps. I won a Super Heavy match because I set a Book of Moon, and I had, like, basically nothing else. He normal summons Soul Peacekeeper, I book it, he looks at his cards for about, like, 30 seconds, and then he goes like this. And I'm like, it's wraps. No. It's wraps. It ruins that deck. And, I mean, the ban list ruined it even more, but into Kashtira, Book of Moon is still crazy. I know Jesse Cotton is a huge fan of books. He plays the Mass book one as well, the Eclipse. And I don't know if I like that, especially in a hand trap format where everyone's playing, like, Ash or something like that. And it's an ashable card. It just seems like
very true.
Not the best option. So going first, I was usually signing in the 3 Book of Moons, the 2 Druid Swarms, and then leaving in the Tactics, and that was kind of my side pattern going first. And then depending on the matchup, I would switch out the Bestials for, like, Imperms if I thought that the Imperms would do more. But I think I would definitely switch these for either more going second cards or a better going first card, like Dimensional Barrier or something like that.
True.
So, but that was kind of like my going first plan. And then the going second plan was I was really scared of what the heck is the card that Super Heavy makes? The
Spell Canceller.
Spell Canceller. Yeah. So I decided to throw in 2 Fenrir and 1 Pankratops.
Pank.
And
so good.
This was kind of like my idea to just, like, summon a dude out and go straight to the battle phase and just beat over their Spell Canceller, and then in the battle phase, like, use the Runick spells to either summon Gary or summon Hugin to search field spell and just do everything in the battle phase, that first battle phase. And it did come up. I played against a Super Heavy guy. I drolled him. He opened Spell Canceller, so he pen summoned it after he synchroed into Baron. So he was ending on Baron Spell Canceller, and I opened Fenrir, so I normal summoned Fenrir, crashed into it, activated effect, baited out the Baron negate, and it was basically wraps after that. So and I mean I attacked the Spell Canceller, went to main phase, attempted to search, and then he Baron negated that, and then it was over after that. So that was that, and then the last 3 cards in my side were 3 evenly. This card's busted. It's just crazy.
It's insane.
You hit Kashtira, you hit Branded, you hit Labyrinth. It's like all, like, the top decks, like Pearly. If it ends on Noir, like, Noir can be dealt with if it's just Noir. So evenly went hard all throughout the day. So definitely, I think this next format, this might be going back into the main deck instead of the Drolls, and I don't think there's any problem with that. Evenly was really good. So that was the main and the side. So let's talk about the extra deck, because my extra deck it got a little bit more interesting from the last one. So I went for a really heavy synchro package.
What are your thoughts on links, by the way?
I ran 0 links in my extra deck. I did not fear Ibly. and I never got Ibly, so I'm sticking by it.
Heck yeah.
No links and also no Xyz. I was playing full Synchro and the Runick Fusions. So for the Naturia stuff, we have 1 Beast, 1 Barkion. While I was at the YCS, I picked up this sweet Ghost Rare, so I'm very happy about that.
Very, very cool.
Mr. Beast Pass is still an FTK against some decks. Sky Striker players in the future, beware, because I'm gonna be summoning Mr. Beast on your ass so fast.
Oh my gosh.
So good luck with that, Sky Striker fans. Barkion also, when Labyrinth gets more popular, might be a better thing to end on than possibly Cricket. I mean, it is possible to end on Barkion turn 1, but usually you're making it turn 2 using the Sunflower stuff, but you can do it turn 1. So this might be like a new end board possibly, but we'll see how Labyrinth shakes up, if it ends up being any better or possibly a better meta contender. Yeah, both of these did really, really well. Barkion is also important because he's a dragon for other cards in my extra deck, which we'll see in a second here. The next two cards, we have one Cloud Beast Malong and one Excel Stardust Synchro Dragon.
So
here, let me explain the Malong. All right, so one, it's a level 6 synchro tuner. So instead of playing Coral Dragon, this was my synchro tuner. It's also a dragon which can come up for I guess I'll talk about now the Bestial Dispatter in my extra. So cool. He requires a non-tuner dragon monster. So this one wouldn't count for that. But so Dispatter counts for Barkion, which is like kind of what I was talking about. So Barkion and Excel Dragon can go into Dispatter basically. So what I would do, you can summon Barkion, summon back Camilla, go into Dispatter, or you can summon Camilla plus a Gary, go into Excel, bring back the level 2 fish in the grave if this is on turn 2, and summon that out, and then you can go straight into Dispatter, which is pretty good.
Very, very cool.
And Dispatter is cool. I didn't make Dispatter during the YCS, but I still think it's a really good Synchro 10 to go into in this deck. So I'd probably leave it in the extra.
So what's the Synchro 10 that you use?
So with Cloud Beast, we did a little bit of shenanigans. So this was like a going second strategy, and also this was my shifter plan. So if I got shiftered and I opened up any Naturia name plus 2 Runick spells, this is what I was doing. I was normal summoning the either one of the Naturia monsters, going into Camilla, summoning Hugin. Either if my hand was like crazy enough, I would actually discard to search the field spell for the turn after. But I wasn't really doing that. I was just summoning Hugin for the level 2 body. You make Cloud Beast Malong, and then you summon Gary from the extra deck with your other Runick spell. So you have a 6 and a 4 on the field, light and dark. You throw them both together into the Chaos Angel, and you just sit on this. And
so good.
Some decks can't out that, especially super heavy. They can't do much about that at all. So if I got shifted, this was basically the play, was just to sit on this, and if they could out it, they could out it. If they couldn't, they couldn't. Because this deck really can't play under shifter. So this was kind of the backup plan, and then on the crackback, you either hope that you open a Naturia name or something to like get your engine started going again. But sitting on Chaos Angel is basically like the only play that this deck can really do.
Honestly, I think the first time you used this on me, and it was like Chainlink 1 Malong target to bounce back. Chainlink 2.
I forgot to mention, going second, if you have the bodies for it, you can just do this going second, and it's a return to hand and a banish. So you can chain block however you want. And
wouldn't you just chain block with this because it's unaffected?
That's true, yeah. So you return a card to the hand and you banish whatever.
Good. Oh my gosh. Also,
it never came up, but it is a possibility. We are playing Changus in the extra deck as another 10 target. If Chaos Angel, say, gets outed under Shifter and goes to the banish pile, you can summon him back with Dispatter because it's a dark, and you can banish again. So,
oh my gosh.
Or if like Changus be destroyed, you can banish Chaos Angel from your grave, like if you're in the grind game, and then summon it back with Dispatter on a different turn. So yeah, these 3 in tandem can really just like loop each other. Which is kind of crazy.
Very, very cool.
So, because you can keep getting, because this is on special summon to banish one. So that was kind of like the shifter plan, and it did come up a couple times, and it worked out pretty well. So for the other 10, we were of course playing the 1 Baron.
Classic.
Baron's crazy. For the other Runicks, we were playing 2 Hugin and 1 Munin. So the idea of the Munin in the main is twofold. Basically, I was considering either playing 2 Jerry or this ratio, and I decided with this ratio because one, this deck can go into time a lot, and there was a couple games where I would just like summon this at like the very end of the turn and just win off the life gain and stuff like that, and it's just nice to have that option like at all times. And then 2, usually you want to have 2 Gary because you're level 6s and this is level 4, so you're level 6 synchros, and this can go into 10s. But Malong has a cool ability where it can modulate its level by 1 in either direction. So if you've already used your Gary to say like a Battle Fate or something like that, you summon it in the battle phase to pop a card or something like that, and you still want to make a level 10 synchro on the crackback, you can summon Malong, make it a level 7, and then summon out unit, and then you have your level 10.
Very, very cool.
So, yeah, this card is, like, really crazy, actually.
It's really
good. So that was kind of, like, my idea, because I didn't want to be siding this in. I think it was a waste of an extra deck, side deck slot. Mm-hmm. So with this combo to make a level 10, I thought it'd be worth it to just put it in the main deck. So
very spicy. Somehow not the spiciest thing.
Yeah, because now we have the true spice, the fish.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so explain to me what they have done for you.
Yeah, all right. So also shout out to MBT for signing my Deep Beyond. Much love, brother. So the fish. This is kind of like, I don't want to say your backup plan, because in some matchups, like just having like a targeting banish or like a board wipe is insane. So sometimes you scrap the Naturia line and just go into the fish line, and it's crazy. But I didn't explain this last time what the play is with these cards, but I can explain it real quick right now. If you open a Runick and a Naturia name, let's say like whatever, we can say Tip and Camilla. You use Tip to summon Hugin. Hugin's a level 2. You search the field ball or whatever. You activate and discard whatever. This gets impermed.
Yeah.
Let's say it gets impermed or whatever, which happened a lot.
Yeah.
It happened so much because we're in a hand trap format. All right, so you go to the main phase. You normal summon your Camilla and activate the effect.
Let's say that also gets impermed.
Yeah, and let's say let's get ashed or whatever, and whatever. So you're sitting on basically nothing at the moment. This is where the fish come in, because you sink for 6 into Aranapos. You banish your level 2 from the deck, which gives you your banish on the opposing turn. Mm-hmm. During your opponent's turn, this comes back. You sink into the 8. You banish a card, and you also search the level 6. So you have like a little bit of follow-up along with the banish. If by chance, because Ascam will come back by banishing a fish when it's banished, so you banish the level 2 again, so it comes back during your standby phase, so you have that like reoccurring level 2 tuner. If your opponent passes and you have left alone a single Ascan, during your standby phase, Shiv will come back. You go straight into the main phase. You synchro summon for Baron, because you just have the levels for it. You synchro into Baron. Let's say you have a blessing in your hand. You draw a cricket for turn. You draw literally any way to another Camilla. You normal summon a second Camilla, and you try to activate the effect. You can bait out whatever you want with this and stuff like that. As long as it's not destroyed by anything. If it stays on the field, you're golden. Because then you can activate the level 6, banish the 2 fish that you now have in your graveyard, and boom, that's a second level 10 sinker. You go straight into Changus, because when Synopsis is summoned, you target itself, so it's banished when it leaves the field.
Also, does Askin come back because he was banished?
No, you'd have to have another fish in the grave.
Gotcha.
So no, Ascan is done. You don't need it past this point anyway. So you sink into another 10. Let's say you go into, you want to remove something on the field non-targeting. You go straight into Changus. The Synopsis banishes itself, and Changus will see that, and you can immediately banish a card on your opponent's field and graveyard, and you're set up with 2 level 10 synchros on turn 2 with just the fish. So that's kind of like the idea with how these are supposed to work. Mm-hmm. And it came up a lot. Like ending on your turn 2, especially in a Runick deck where you don't have your battle phase, like ending on a Baron and a Changus
Banis.
on your turn is pretty nuts. So and there's obviously like tons of other lines you could do because Shiv is coming back anyway, and you can always use like it for something else instead. Like they get rid of your Ascan, so you're just left with this. A Runick spell equals another level 6, which goes into Malong, which then goes into like Chaos Angel or something like that. So just having like a reoccurring level 2 tuner is really nice in this version of the deck because you're playing so many synchro monsters. So that was kind of like how the fish are supposed to work. It especially if you go uninterrupted and you end on like the field spell plus like any runic spells in hand, and you just have so much advantage on turn 2 that you're basically gonna win off of that. That like capability of having 2 level 10 synchros on your turn 2 is I felt like was just like worth playing the package for. It's literally only 2 cards and then the 3 extra deck slots.
That's pretty great.
Yeah,
honestly.
And you don't even have to play the Deep Beyond. I mean, like you could really just play the 6 and the 8. And I never summoned Deep Beyond. It was always an option.
More about sending a message.
Exactly. I just wanted to play it because I think it's cool. Because the problem is with only one of the level 2 tuners, it's really hard to get into this if you don't put a lot of resources into it. With just the level 2 and Arenapos on the field, you would have to use a runic spell to summon another Hugin if you wanted to make a level 10. Or if, let's say, you use a Cricket to bring out Camella and Sunflower, they imperm the Sunflower, you just have a level 2 body staying there. Yeah. You can just get rid of it and synchro summon into the Deep Beyond that way too and banish the field. But the opportunity never really presented itself where that would be like a feasible option to do that would win me the game. So I never really went into the Deep Beyond, but I think having the accessibility is there. Especially now with after the ban list, with Labyrinth becoming more popular. If they like set 3 on, like if I go first and they set 3 and like maybe use one of the furnitures to like set another one or summon one of the Lady Labyrinths or something like that, if during their like main phase 2, like the end of their main phase 2, you just use a runic spell, go into Hugin, synchro summon Deep Beyond, and then just banish the entire field, it's basically wraps.
It's so good.
It's basically wraps. Because that's like Labyrinth really relies on their hand, especially the furniture build, and if like you leave them on like 2 cards in hand and no cards set, there's not much they're doing.
No,
there's just not much that they're doing.
Lord.
So I think going forward, I'm gonna keep the Deep Beyond in just because I think the matchup for it is gonna become more relevant now with the new ban list out. So yeah, the fish are crazy. I think they're nuts. It gives you a great backup plan. It also plays through Shifter. If you don't have enough runic spells for the Chaos Angel line, or like you don't want to like waste that many resources on it, you can just normal summon Camilla, summon Hugin, sink into Arenapos, banish the fish, and just pass. You can set some runic spells if you want, but it at least gives you interruption on your opponent's turn. Whereas the regular Naturia runic deck would provide nothing through Shifter. You would be setting a couple of runic spells and that'd be about it, and then they'd be gone on the next turn. So that's like, it's also like a sort of like out to Shifter sort of way.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, that's the deck profile.
Sweet.
Any
people you want to give a big warm smooch?
Yeah, Sean, get over here. yeah, big shout out to Sean for coming out to the YCS with me. I was very happy that he came with me. So, and I hope he gets to Nationals too, so he can come meet me there as well.
Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, so yeah, that's it for the deck profile. I'm probably going to keep playing this deck through the next format to see how it fares, because I don't think it was hit very hard at all. Sacred Tree to 2, to 1, I don't think matters too much. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to playing more synchro shenanigans with the fish.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, so very good.
All right, bye.